Conservatives are the real rebels in 2020. Here's why. Some might be wondering how on earth could we be the rebels when it was the Conservative Party that won a Commons majority of 80, the party's largest since 1987. It might also appear odd to describe conservatism as rebellious, when rebels, by definition, want change, and conservatives, by definition, want to conserve. Self-described conservative political parties across the West do win elections, that's true. But they're crucially losing the institutions that act as the scaffold of our culture. Take a step back and consider the left's dominance of our media, of social media giants playing the role of custodians of an openly left-wing environment, of our Marxist education system and boardrooms of corporations seeking affirmation from those media and cultural gatekeepers that they can go back to their friends with good stories of their enlightened values at dinner parties and Davos drinks receptions. The reason conservatism is rebellious today is that the dominant cultural view is one that seeks to uproot our past and what we stand for and what we always have stood for, making it revolutionary to actually stand against that tide in this culture war, which in large part has been propagated by our generously funded universities and the BBC. It's clear to me that the left's online battalion of outrage mobs, online metal detectorists, all armed with their notices of cancellation, are aimed squarely at those who dare to argue against it. There's also a world of difference in small c conservatism and the big C Conservative Party. The left's winning despite being formally out of power. In education, in the arts, and the regulators and all of their powerful functions over our everyday lives. Because our politicians ultimately seem more concerned with looking good to the likes of Twitter over actually being good. For ordinary folk, to be conservative requires balls of steel. No platforming is a regular occurrence at our supposedly world-class and expensive universities. I've been contacted by several students each week who tell me tales of it being almost impossible for some societies to secure venue bookings to host democratically elected members of the British Parliament that hold centre-right views and values. Imagine that for a second. Take a step back and imagine that. Those who represent our country are now not able to engage in discussion with our nation's young. The invitation will be issued, it'll be accepted, a venue will be secured, and then guaranteed, like clockwork, you sit back and watch it happen. Left-wing students will apply pressure to the university societies. Twitter will be awash, and diversity teams will work their magic to no-platform these speakers. In a brilliant interview with Talk Radio at the weekend, Ricky Gervais made the case that free speech protects everyone. He explained that the evolving definition of what constitutes hate speech is detrimental to society when our speech is already policed via libel, slander, watershed, advertising, and criminal laws, and delivered this wonderfully pithy line. He said, "If you're mildly conservative on Twitter, you're Hitler." If only our conservative politicians could defend our values in such a robust fashion. Today, those with genuinely sexist, racist, or homophobic views are rightly called out for being so. But so are those unfairly accused of being so. Take our vote for Brexit. How many of us were accused of racism or being Nazis there? We've moved on from the Middle Ages. It's not the man who's executed now, but his character online. Free discussion is being shut down. How you challenge uncomfortable views, though, is evidenced throughout our history. It's through more speech, not less. We've got to be opening up, not shutting down avenues to it. Our ancestors were much braver than we are today, but all isn't lost. It's time to come out the closet, the political one, and join the reasoned fight back against this madness. I'm Darren Grimes for Reasoned UK. Reasoned is a grassroots organisation that relies on support from people like yourself who want us to continue producing our free-thinking, high-quality content. You can rest assured whatever you donate, big or small, will be put back into ensuring we win the battle of ideas. Thank you for your support.